How's it going, everyone? This is what we call the DP2A Today Offshoots. These are the episodes we don't have a featured interview guest. Every now and then we might have someone come in and kind of give a perspective on some of the topics at hand. But these are the ones where we react to some videos. We might show some memes out there. We talk about the news, the politics. We're going to talk about the lies, the heroes, and everything in between. We're going to yank around some emotions, pretty much everything you can think of on this episode. So hang in there. We got some really good stuff for you coming up. Okay, welcome in. This is where we basically get to kind of share some viewpoints. All right, and again, as always, like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let you know what you think after the show. We're gonna have some stuff down in the description there, some links, things like that. Listen, we're not gonna talk about anything without being able to back it up. All right, except for the last part of this, because I got to go on a little rant today. Here's what I do. All right. So first thing I want to do, I want to highlight something good, man. Something great that's going on in this country. I want to highlight a hero here and there. That's the way we're going to start off these episodes. This guy I'm going to highlight right now, his name's Cornell Lewis. And there's going to be a description in the link below. But Cornell Lewis, he started something called the Self Defense Brigade in Hartford, Connecticut. Now, Hartford, well, Connecticut as a whole, not exactly a red-blooded conservative state. And Hartford, with their liberal mayor, spoke out against this. But Cornell's basically saying people in Garden Street, an area, part of their town, basically asked for some help. And so they put together a group called Self Defense Brigade, where they are patrolling the neighborhood armed. That's right, people. When we talk about the Second Amendment, how defend and protect really plays into that. Yes, again, as I spoke about episode 1, defending and protecting the Second Amendment, or defending and protecting in general, is not just about the Second Amendment. Okay, for me, it's a lot of it's about the Second Amendment, but we have a Second Amendment that gives us the ability to carry concealed in most states. Even in some states, it's open carry, and I'm from the looks of this article, I might have to go look it up, but these guys don't seem to be carrying concealed. Here's the thing, they're also cleaning up the street as they go. They're picking up trash. They're doing things to help that community. So for all their efforts, for all their troubles, all the things that they're doing, the Hartford mayor, not a fan. Not a fan. So the funniest thing about this is you got people who are willing to step up and say, I'll take care of it, right? Isaiah 6:8. Whom shall I send? Send me. Cornell Lewis, my man. You're a hero to your community, right? You should be seen as a hero throughout this country. People should be looking up to you and admiring what you're doing. Not exactly taking on the opinion that your mayor does. I just have to believe at some point someone's going to ask him, checking the article out now. At some point, you have to think that he is going to wake up to the fact that the saying in the Second Amendment community, or in the concealed carry community goes, or even just in the protect yourself community, is when seconds matter, police are only minutes away. I am not taking a shot at the cops with that. Understand that. I get it. It is a hard job. I get it. No one is sitting there going, man, I want to be a cop the way they used to be. I don't say no one, but it's very thankless. And it's been made more thankless by the liberal left. There, I said it. But that said, you make a call to 911, it's 10 seconds minimum before they can even get the call out to dispatch. What if that cop's 4 or 5 minutes away? That guy's at your front door, right? These guys in the Self Defense Brigade basically said, we'll take it from here. And the Democratic mayor stated, our community has seen so much pain and trauma, and what we need is for those who love the city to do hard work of healing that pain. Adding, Hartford doesn't need people walking the streets with guns and trying to take the law into their own hands. This isn't about taking the law in their own hands. This is about making sure people are safe. And as a mayor, this individual doesn't have to worry about that sort of thing. Like every other politician, 24-hour security. And they'll have these crazy things to help them out called guns. So instead of saying, hey, bravo, Cornell Lewis, you keep doing your thing, Hartford Mayor Arunan Arulampong. And I apologize to the mayor for that. Yeah. I don't care whether you're right or left. I have a big thing about mispronouncing names. I'm not a fan of doing that. That said, bad look. That's a bad look. If you're not going to stand behind your citizens when they stand up to protect themselves, that's a bad look. Okay, it's not going to go well for you. But again, to Cornell Lewis, bravo. You are doing exactly what this country needs. Now, let's talk about some politics here. State of the Union address was last week at the time I'm recording this. There's a lot in there that just flat out wasn't true. Okay. Biden wants to blame shrinkflation. Called out some companies too. It was a Mars company, candy bars, right? Basically saying, hey, smaller candy bar, same price. He probably didn't say it nearly that eloquently. Okay, so what? Mars came out and said, no, it's not smaller, same candy bar. And said, like other companies, they are working hard to maintain the same types of prices that they've always maintained. Instead of demonizing these corporations, maybe analyze your own policies. Maybe, okay? The Bureau of Labor Statistics show that inflation rose 0.4% in February and 3.2% over the last 12 months. People need to understand this too. The only way to reduce inflation is to have a negative number there. We expect inflation to grow 9 times out of 10, right? In order for inflation to shrink, however, it has to go backwards. You have to have a negative number in the slot. Now, 3.2% over the last 12 months, which also means your consumer price index is up as well. Or core inflation, as another one that they look at, is basically a measure of inflation minus food and energy. Two big ones. But that increased 3.8% over the last year. Let's talk about interest rates. People who want to sell their house right now, or over the last couple of years or so, if they sold their house, say, mid to late 2021 or earlier, they are probably able to kind of still get into something that's in the 4% range for an interest rate. Now you're looking at 7+. Is it easier or harder to find people to sell their houses at this point? It's getting harder. And I'm not saying that the real estate market's bombing or anything, but we're starting to get to a point where that bubble's getting to a point where we're looking at maybe a burst. Okay. I don't want to predict doom and gloom. However, finding someone who's super cool about selling their house they've had for 5, 6, 8 years, whatever, however, maybe longer, that they bought with a cranking 3.5% interest rate. Now they got to, look at buying a different house with double the interest rate. You see where we're going with that one? And add to that, again, gas prices are up $1 from this point a few years ago on average, which basically means this. Let's do some math here. Let's say you have 2 families, or 2 people in a family that have vehicles, and they say they have 17-gallon tanks. Okay, that means each week, generally, for a working family, the couple has to drive to work on a regular basis. $34 extra a week. It's 128 bucks a month, give or take, for a 4-week month. And you factor that out, you're looking at $1,600 extra every year. Add in the fact that bread's 4 and change, $5 a loaf, milk is almost $5 a gallon. Basic things. And then they want to try and tell you the economy's doing better. Booming economy, I've heard from some people. I mean, booming, it's bombing. You misspelled it, maybe mispronounced it a little bit. Bombing, maybe. It's just, it is that classic phrase of, you're pissing down my leg and you tell me it's raining. And we ain't buying it. And we shouldn't buy it. And I'm starting to see more and more people who are on the left going, this don't feel right at all. And let's be honest, if you got anything working that doesn't make you a Democrat fanboy, you should be able to look at things and go, something's not right. Okay. Now, here's where I'm going to get on a little bit of a rant. Then I'm going to show you some stuff that we're going to do some reactions. We're going to do some reactions DP2A style. I'm working on some reaction stuff on another channel. Here, we'll go from funny to sad to angry to everything in between. So, my rant is this, right? We're going to talk about the 2A community as a whole, the gun-toting citizens of America. I am a fervent believer that you should be allowed to carry a gun. That when it says shall not be infringed, every single law out there works on an infringement of the Second Amendment. No, Joe Biden, you're wrong. The Second Amendment is absolute. Here's where the rant comes in for the community types. Listen, we're getting a lot of people, and we have over the last 5 years, 4 or 5 years, basically, especially around the time we start seeing all the rioting, all the people clogging up the interstates, COVID, all these factors are coming together. We're starting to see younger people, more left-leaning people, older people who have never touched a gun going, hey, teach me. And I'm an instructor in this space. I'm seeing requests from people I never thought I would. Never. Here's the problem. I'll see them get on these Facebook groups. These are new people to the gun community. Get on these Facebook groups that are about guns. Whether it's a Glock group or a SIG group or just a concealed carry group or an AR group. God, my God. Listen, I'll see them get on there and they'll ask a question. That's a basic question. What kind of round should I carry? And some of you out there, and you know who you are, want to denigrate these. You want to talk down to these people. As it is, they're asking you because it's sometimes intimidating to go into the gun store and say, hey, what round should I carry? What gun should I get? People say this. People get on there and say, okay, should I get it? And I'm just going to use Glock as an example. And should I carry a Glock 26 or a Glock 43X? And I mentioned those are two very popular conceal-friendly platforms. Kid you not, there'll be a half dozen people on there instantly. Glock 19. They didn't ask that. They said 26, 43X. And maybe their research brought them down to those two. And you want to flex your knowledge. Okay, listen. Some of you are bona fide firearms experts. You're probably not the ones I'm actually hearing from. You're probably not the ones that are actually talking down to these people. The firearms experts out there, the true firearms experts, are probably not the ones who are trying to make these people feel stupid. Again, some of you, your toes are getting stepped on. Who you are. Here's what needs to happen in the 2A community. We need to be a bit more 2A friendly to those who are getting into this side. Does it make sense to have people going, well, gosh, I went to get a gun and I was talking to join this Facebook group because it was all about, the types of guns I was looking for. And they treat me like garbage. I'm like, what good does that do? How about this? How about the next time a new person, even someone who seems to have some knowledge or some experience, asks a question? How about, wild thought here, how about we just answer the question? How about we just give them a little information and say, you know what? I think I know what you're looking for. Try this. instead of trying to pretend that we are the CEO of Sig Sauer. Just a thought. Okay. And I say this a lot in conservative groups too. Rather than crush each other, this is the time we need to be coming together. Because as conservatives, the left is after our rights in a lot of different ways. As a 2A community, they are absolutely after that. When a sitting president tries to tell you a constitutional amendment is not absolute, he's one, wrong, two, he's trying to change things. Now, do I think Joe Biden's smart enough to pull that trigger off? No, but he's being fed that information. He's being fed those statements. And the fact is, they are coming for guns. People are like, well, show me where this person came from guns. Show me where you didn't try. Try that one out. They all want to. Every one of them wants to. Can they? It's that point of when someone's, they didn't come for our guns. Okay, well, let's have a civics lesson here. The president can only do so much. He's basically a figurehead at this point anyway. And not a good one. Whatever, but it's not that they aren't trying. And if we are a fractured 2A community, if we are a fractured conservative base, we're making it easier for them. Here's a problem. And I'm going to step into a side I wasn't planning on doing, but listen, I'm not the biggest Trump guy out there. He's done some anti-2A things, not a lot of it, but some. He said some things where I'm like, he pushed the whole jab thing. I am jab free. My whole house is jab free. But our former president really wanted you to get the jab. Still does. But that said, when it comes down to a point where my choices are not so good third-party candidates, I look at them, I give it a thought. If you bring me a good one, I'll get behind it. Or Joe Biden? Possibly Michelle Obama? Or Donald Trump? It is not a hard decision. And it's that point right there that if we don't unite, see, and here's what happened. Whether you want to, say the election was stolen or whatever the case may be, regardless, I believe they were able to take advantage of the fact that the Republican base, I don't believe they're all conservative, the Republican base was fractured. As a 2A community, let's also not be fractured. Let's help each other get to the point where guns are back to being the norm. Hard to walk into a department store and say, I'm going to shoot up the place when you know that 90% of the place is armed. Maybe it's not hard. It's just, you might want to rethink that one. But for that, we're going to take a break. We'll come right back with some great reactions. All right, guys, back from a break. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to just a handful of videos. We're going to show some stuff that's out there in the world. Again, these are things that between myself, my wife, we've stumbled on, and just, I think it's worthy to have somebody look at it, show it to you, and go, what? And some of me just funny. But this first one, let me tell you something. I'm going to key this first one up for us here.
How many days already?
This first one makes me worry about the education system in our country. Right. And I think a lot of us have seen videos like this where you just go, oh boy, guys out there asking questions to college students and they give answers and you go, no, how did you get this far? Someone's tying your shoes for you still in the morning. Yeah. What? So anyway, just watch this on. There's about 30 seconds or so of just some of the stuff where you go, we're not gonna make it.
How many days are in a year? I got to count for leap year. All right. Is it like 250? 250 days?
Yeah.
You positive? Pretty sure. Good job. What state is Arizona in?
Hawaii?
You sure?
Yeah.
Correct. How many seasons are there?
10.
Name a couple.
Tax season.
Uh,
Falling season.
I know was live. And then
And you had 4
I
of
don't know
them
what
in
the other
single
side
day.
was in the name.
Good job.
Wow. So listen, I don't know how to break this to you guys, but that is your tax dollars at work right there. All right. So yeah, okay, cool. Number 2 here.
Do you have a gun?
I have a license to have a gun. Yes, I do.
Do you own one?
Yes, I do.
Do you use it? Gun range?
It's none of your business. It's really none of your business. I have a license to have a gun.
Gun control?
What are you talking about?
Or
You asked me
stronger
if I have a gun.
background- stronger
yes, I have a
background
gun.
checks.
Excuse me. Yes, I have a gun, and yes, I have a permit to have a gun.
Stronger background checks? What about that?
I
Is
would-
there any
I
steps that you
look
would
into
take
it, but I-
to make it harder to get a gun in
The
this
problem
country?
is, once you get into that, you start getting into a situation, the slippery slope, where all of a sudden you're going to really violate the Second Amendment. I don't want to do anything to violate the Second Amendment. To me, the Second Amendment is very important.
And I agree. Again, we saw, I want to say this was 2018, the bump stock ban. There was a couple, and he made some comments about red flag laws that were head scratchers, to say the least. Here's my thoughts on some of this. You can't vote for Trump. He's anti-2A. Listen, he is far from anti-2A. Let me show you what anti-2A looks like. Joe Biden, there's your anti-2A. Barack Obama, very anti-2A. Okay, and Joe goes, I'm a 2A guy. I've got 2 shotguns. That doesn't make you 2A. That doesn't mean you understand what this means. Joe Biden probably still thinks you got to be part of the militia to actually use the thing. So, again, whether you agree with Trump here or not, listen, here's the point when it comes to 2A or any other issue. I will take a guy like that who I agree with 95% of the time, maybe 90%, 86.5 some days, over a guy like Joe Biden who I'd have to be stretching really hard to find something that he and I agree on. I think too often we get into these single issue kind of things and we'll take a guy and just bump them out the possibility list just because they don't agree with you on issue X. Issues Y and Z, you're on lockstep with. However, the other candidates who, if we put all the third-party candidates in there, that's great. I believe in the last election, they didn't combine. I mean, there's freaking 10 different third-party candidates out there. They didn't combine for 10% of the vote. Again, show me a viable candidate, and I'm in with you. But I just can't rule out a guy who, at least the vast majority of the time, I can see eye to eye with. Don't bring the racist crap in here. I can show you example after example where he puts out a tweet or he says something in a speech, Trump that is, and the media spins it, and all of a sudden you got people going, yes, he's a racist. Like, okay, did you see the tweet? Because what they said is not what he actually said. I can show you from the Charlottesville thing to the comment about, well, all Mexicans are rapists and murderers. He didn't say send them back when it comes to Omar and Tlaib. He didn't say that stuff. But the media will have you thinking he did. Trump's right. You start getting down the stronger background checks thing, and it's a very slippery road. Okay. Suddenly you got guys who maybe they have a reckless driving charge. Man, right? Reckless driving with reckless firearms use. Let's take away his firearms. Okay. You're playing a dangerous game at that point. Something showing as the E4 Mafia. Pardon the language, I was trying to give you authentic content here.
Yes, sir.
He can't move because he's paused.
You can't unpause him either because I paused him. And I can't unpause him as I got told I couldn't.
Get the fuck out of my
So
office.
you have to drag him. Oh, these are still kind of warm. Oh, no, they're not.
I mean, there's a microwave right there.
Does
I
it
would say
work?
take it by his leg. My man.
You might need a battle buddy.
Yeah, you should bring a battle blade for that guy.
Yep. Go ahead, take him off. Hey, Banks, pause. There's no rank in the game.
What a dedicated to the role.
And understand, listen, when we train to crush our enemies, we're doing that, yeah. I've been both of those guys. I've been the guys that get this down on office. I've been the guys that pause. Have you ever seen the movie Jarheads? All right. They're in Kuwait. I'm telling you, Kuwait's the hottest place I've ever been in my life. If you watch the interview of where my wife's interviewing me, it is hot. It's brutally hot.
We spent a solid year in Kuwait.
Right.
And we got there in May, and it was 173,000 degrees. And we left in May, and it was back to being 173,000 degrees. For about a month and a half, from about late November into January-ish, maybe a little bit into February, it rained a lot. And I would just sit there and tell people, listen, apparently God spends 2 months a year soaking this place down, and then he spends the next 10 months drying to an absolute crisp.
Okay. In Jarheads, they're out there playing football in what we call mop gear, and PP, method of protective posture, I think is what that's for. Basically, chemical suits. And they had that and the mask on. And if you've ever tried to do anything with a gas mask on, God bless you, it is no fun. I'll tell you one thing I don't think I've ever tried to do is play football. But we're going to do things to keep ourselves entertained when we're in uniform. Sometimes when we're not in uniform, but it really doesn't matter. That is, again, if you've ever heard of the uniform mafia, that's it right there. That is your prime example of the week. Now, this one, I'm going to sit there for a minute. We're going to cue this up. This is what happens. And again, pardon the language, this person is, he is running out of adjectives to actually use it. Don't try to make him sound better. But listen, he probably need all the help he can get, because this is what happens right here. This dude, you are the problem in the country. This is what happens when you feel like, I need to make a video. I don't have a clue what I'm talking about. This happens.
I'm tired of people bringing up the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment from 1791. The Second Amendment during slavery. The Second Amendment before most of the United States were states. The Second Amendment when y'all were shooting bayonets and muskets. The current United States in 2023 has more guns than it does citizens. The current United States has more mass shootings than anywhere on the planet. I am sick and fucking tired of the times of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson still playing a role in the society 200 years later. Did I mention 1791, slavery? 1791, indigenous folks still having all their land stolen. Nothing about 1791 matters today, except for the fact that black folk and indigenous folks are dealing with the ramifications of shit y'all did in 1790.
What? There's so much wrong with that. Where do you start? First off, no, we're not. We don't have the most mass shootings of anyone on the planet. The enunciation there. We don't. We're not in the top 5. We're like number 7, 8, whatever. But we're not in the top 5. It's not. Listen, did your Google break? Because it's not hard to look up. It's not hard to find it out. This is, again, this is what happens when you have someone who has no clue what they're talking about. They don't understand the Constitution. They don't understand the reason it was written. They don't understand why things were put in there the way they were. They don't get it. But they still want to talk about it as if they do. This is what happens when you have 2 working brain cells left and they're fighting for 3rd place. Yeah, I know. I'm probably not supposed to say that about another band, but I did. Sorry. Lord, forgive me. That one, in 2023, we have more guns than citizens. Guess what? In 1791, they had more guns than citizens. Most every household had a few guns. When Paul Revere rode around saying the regulators are coming, he didn't really say the British are coming. When he rode around saying this, people started going into their barns and pulling out their stashes of lots of guns. Right? The fact that it happened during the time of slavery is irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. Read the Constitution. I dare you. I dare you. Read the context of the world, the way things were going at that time. I dare you. Learn that the Constitution was written on principles. That's why the First Amendment still matters and is still relevant today, despite the fact that we got Twitter or X, whatever we're going to call it today. We got Facebook, we got Instagram, we got all these different services in which we can speak freely, and the government can't do anything about it. Why? First Amendment. Understand the First Amendment, Second Amendment, they all basically are protecting us from the government. The Constitution was written because they were telling us, do not trust your government. I'm not sitting here going, listen, we need to go on this like anti-government, whatever. We need to try to overthrow it. We got to do a coup. I'm not saying that. I don't want that. I don't want any of that. I don't want a civil war. I just want things to go back the way they were. I want things to go back the way they're supposed to be. But I'm telling you, Scooter, if you take out the Second Amendment, the First Amendment's gone. Gone. Get rid of it. It's over. Illegal search and seizures in the Constitution, get rid of it. It's over. You can't stop someone from coming in and doing illegal search and seizure because you don't have guns anymore, and they do. That's right. That's right. You're the sitting now. This is also probably someone who won't call the cops because they don't trust the cops. But who's going to protect them then? Because Second Amendment, get rid of it. 1791. Did I mention 1791? Anyway, God, wow. There's dumb, and then there's little pennant hoodie boy there. Come at me. Hey, anyway. And you get to go from a guy like that to a guy like this. And this guy's going to break some truth down for you, and it ain't pretty.
When the attacks start in the U.S., it's not going to be Israel's fault. It's not going to be Trump's fault. It's not going to be Christians' fault. When the attacks start, it's going to be brutal. You guys are going to have to realize that you guys made this bed. You're going to have to sleep in it. And there's going to be guys like me that are going to come in, going to stand in front of you, between you and the bad guy. That's what good guys do.
And they hate to hear that. They hate to hear the one thing that stops a bad guy is a good guy with a gun. But what if when the bad guy with a gun is actually an entire platoon level group of people? That's about 40, give or take. What if it's actual insurrection? The J6 thing. What if it's another country just says, you know what, these guys in the U.S. are weak right now. Let's go ahead and show them just how weak they are. You see, we're that close to seeing things like that happen. Again, this isn't fear-mongering. This is just what the rest of the world is seeing. And if you don't think so, take a look around. It's not hard to figure it out.
You can go ahead and plug in and...
Okay.
You just plug it in.
That's it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is this complicated?
Yeah.
Just plug it in.
Here we are.
That's it.
Lady, you plug it in, and then you can let it go. What is she doing?
And there's no sound
You don't have to hold it. You just plug it in.
or fume.
There is nothing.
It's electric. There's no smell.
Yeah, and that's
So
all there
for
is
all of
to
us
it.
who are used to
Every morning we...
filling our tank, you usually can smell it and you can hear it. You can hear the...
This isn't complicated.
None of
So
it.
how do I know it's actually working?
Oh my god. This is our vice president.
It is.
Wow. Oh, jeez.
It is.
And this is one of our leaders. This is embarrassing.
This isn't complicated.
Embarrassing. For one bad health day for Biden away from that being leading your country. I used to say, I'm not going to get it. Vice President, number 2. She said number 2. So if the number 1 takes a dive, that's person leading our country. Come on.
Biden's being Biden's being an extremist. Biden's being Biden's being an extremist.
Like, what do you do? I mean, thank God that these reporters these days can kind of record this stuff and listen to it again, because it's like a bunch of transcriptions sitting around going, what the heck did you just say? Oh, Lord. All right, so kind of accidentally clicked on the last one here a second ago. Gonna cue this one up a little bit. Understand the first 5 seconds of this one is someone who, kind of like our yellow hooded Second Amendment boy, someone who just doesn't freaking get it. The rest of it is heartbreaking.
Our flag. What did you do for yours?
Come on, boss. What's going on?
I'm on the phone with the VA
Okay.
for suicide.
All right. Hey, I got you, man. All right. What branch you in?
Army.
Army? All right. Hey, my name's Kyle. All right. We'll help you out. All right, bud. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. All right. I'm gonna start an ambulance over here to us. Okay. All right, bud. Hey, no. Hey, if I send you, it's nothing on you. Okay. State of Connecticut covers that. All right. Can we step out of the car, boss? Just so we can talk? Hey, twist. Yeah, come to the front of your truck, bud.
820.
Starting an ambulance to the 6-8 off-ramp eastbound. I'm with a vet who's on the suicide hotline. Hey. Sorry, man. Hey. You have anything on you?
No.
Okay, is that about checking? Cool. Any deployments, bud? One? Okay, dude. It's a tough time for everyone in your position, all right? Relax, though. Hey, I'm here with you, okay? Here. Yeah. Come on, boss. What's that on? Let's do it. Hey, I got you, man, all right? Branch you is. Army? My name's Kyle. All right, we'll help you out. I'm here with you. I'm here with you, all right? Bring some of the angles over here to us, okay? All right, look, where is it? I send you, there's nothing on you, okay? City Connecticut covers that. All right? Yeah, turn me step out of the car, boss? To some guitar? You're coming to the corner of your truck. Sorry, it was the 6-8 off-ramp eastbound. I'm with us on the seaside. Here's my vision. Okay, is that check it? That's and the point of fun. That's the one. That's not that. I'm for exist, right? Relax. Hey, I'm here with you, okay? Yeah.
All right, I don't know who that soldier was. As should be, he wasn't identified in the video. I hope that he got the help he needs. I hope he's okay. I hope he's going forward. The officer was identified as Kyle. He identified himself by first name. I started this whole thing talking about a hero. We're going to finish one with a couple of heroes. Truly, that soldier was a hero. And Kyle, gosh, I never get to meet you, but boy, I'd love to. I'd love to shake your hand, because you couldn't handle that any better. I'm just thankful there's guys like you out there when these issues arise. I would hope that the others who come across a guy who's hurting that bad, I would hope that there's more people like Kyle in this world. I've seen this video probably 6-7 times, and man, it hurts every time. And I'll say this, to the pompous, arrogant, indignant, self-absorbed individual that starts this video off, shame on you. You have no idea what it means to earn a flag. Tell me what we did for our, seriously. Why don't you do something other than sit there and rant and rave and cry and whine, melt down, because that's clearly all you're capable of, and do something. Because clearly earning your flag, as you called it, No, you didn't. You didn't do anything. All you've done is embarrass yourself. You and Hoodie Boy. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up with that. I did that kind of purposely because two of my biggest hot buttons in this world, not a few, two of the biggest ones are veteran suicide and child endangerment and exploitation. This one really touched on the veteran suicide part, but put some links in the description, some foundations you can donate to help. I assure you the veteran suicide thing is not going away right now. It needs all the help we can get. So with that though, we appreciate you watching. Again, subscribe for me, like, throw some comments out there. We are really just kicking this thing off, but we know there's people out there that need to hear positive stuff. They need to hear impactful stuff. They need to hear stuff that makes them laugh. They need to hear stuff that stirs the emotions, man. So again, thank you for watching DP2A Today Offshoots. We'll talk to you later.